And
Hello and welcome to World Sand Project. I am the magical sand princess and life coach to the rich and famous, Shelley Carney.
I'm administrative assistant to the World Sand Princess, not World Sand Princess, Magical Sand Princess, Magical Sand Genie,
Oh, okay.
and
Genie.
life coach to the rich and famous. And today we're giving away this beautiful pendant from Alder Gulch in Montana that may even have some gold flakes in it because we saw them in the sample. If you want to have a chance at winning that, go to last Wednesday's show and make a comment. Later on in the show, we'll give it away. We've got a great show for you today. We've got a sample from Cozumel, and I think you'll like it. We also have the gentleman who collected the sample, Brian Gates, calling in, or we'll call him, and he'll tell us a little bit about the collection, all right? So thanks for joining us today. We're looking forward to a great day. So we do have a couple of announcements to make. The first thing that I would like you to do is look down in the description box below, and you're going to see a link to, actually, let's go there. I hadn't thought about this. Let's just go there. So we'll open this up to sillywoo dot. I'm gonna do a screenshot for you because I got a kind of neat story to tell you. Dot red bubble. Oops. Dot red bubble. And this link, like I said, is in the
Silly Woo Designs.
Sillywoo Designs. Design. Oh man. Sillywoo.
No, you got an extra S in there.
Shit.
DESIGNS.
Dot
redbubble.com.
Okay, and oh, dang nabbit, silly wood woo
That's right. Silly Woo
designs
Designs.
dot redbubble.
redbubble.com.
Oh,
And then you got to click on each one of them to see the things. This is her site.
oh, okay, all right. No, this is that site that they give you. Let me go to the description box. Because I think I think her site is called Silly Woo, but I think the link is, her site is Silly Woo Designs, and it's Silly Woo Designs, redbubble.com. Why didn't it go there?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, while I'm doing this, the reason I'm doing it is, there we go. So Silly Woo Designs is a sales website owned by Shelley's daughter. Can I mention her name?
Yeah.
Alicia. And Alicia is very talented. She and her husband both. And this is her website. And I don't know, did you suggest it to her or did she suggest it to
She
you?
said that she was doing this thing now, and then I said, well, how about doing it with sand?
Yeah. So what I did is I sent her some of our sand pictures, and she's turned them into
Products.
So this is the clock product, and you may she's smart enough, not smart enough, but she's smart to have included the image and the name of the image: Sand, Mungo Beach, Myall Lakes National Park, New South Wales. But you can buy any of these products that she has listed here. She's even done pillows with them. So this is a throw pillow for your living room with the that's the sand from Glass Beach in Hawaii, and there's
Papacolia.
Papacolia. That's right. She's made that's a iPhone holder. She's made notebooks with them. She's made cups with them. And I thought I saw a T-shirt. Did she do the T-shirt in here?
Yeah. There's a bag.
And I saw, a notebook. So there's even a notebook with
So
it.
probably under clothing.
Let's see if she's made the if you have to go there, and that's just the front page. So I
No,
didn't
that's
see.
not.
I saw the one T-shirt that she showed us. Dresses, leggings, mini skirts, sweatshirts.
Well,
Anyway,
there's some T-shirts, but that's not the sand all over ones.
right. So she did some of the smaller ones. So this has the sand picture in the corner of the T-shirt. Anyway, I wanted to point out that she's taken these pictures that we've given her and she's turned them into products for herself. And so it's what was it? Say the site. It's the link in the description box below.
Redbubble.
SillyWooDesigns.redbubble.com.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that you like there, we're going to give, we like the first batch that she put out so well that I'm going to give her some more pictures, but she's got a lot more products to build. She had shown us the first one actually that she showed us was a t-shirt, and I thought it was really cool. So SillyWooDesigns.redbubble.com.
So she's got some. Yeah.
She's got them divided by the various, like she divided by Hawaii, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the tote bag. Yeah. So she's got a lot of cool things that she made from these sand pictures, and they're really kind of neat. Okay, so that was our design. Remember, before you leave today, I guess I could do my housekeeping thing. You want towels? Because you can get towels from Alicia with sand designs on them.
That's right.
Remember to like our video today. YouTube likes it when you like our videos. The magical sand genie likes it when you like our videos. We really love it when you like our videos. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, and the entirety of your social networks so that we can
grow the channel.
And finally, if you are not already a subscriber and you'd like to join in the fun every time we launch a live stream, click on that subscribe button.
Awooga.
And then when you see the notifications bell, ring that notifications bell. And that way, when we do start a live stream, you'll be informed. As a matter of fact, eventually when we get to our community page, and we have to have 1,000 subscribers for that. But I also wanted to announce that starting on Friday, the next 2 Fridays, one of the things that we promised is we had a couple of extra books that Amazon had sent me on rocks. One, a very colorful one, the standard National Geographic Guide to Rocks and Rock Collecting, and the other, the Smithsonian Guide to Rocks and Rock Collecting. And I promised that when we reached 100 subscribers, we'd give those away. So on Friday, and I'll tell you how to win them. We'll give you a chance to go back. On Friday, we'll give the first of those books away, and then the following Friday, we'll give the other of those 2 books away. All right? So being a subscriber is helpful. I did receive this little object here. I don't know if you can see it real well, but it's actually a sand classification chart. And it was sent to me by a company named CGS Mule, Inc., and it was designed in 1984 by a gentleman whose name is W.F. McCullough, who at that time, I don't know if Mr. McCullough is still alive, I'd like to find out, actually put it together and created this card. And it has physical samples. You can feel them right here. They're actually, just put some in my keyboard there. Physical samples. And then on the back, if you're good enough to identify the objects in the sample as having a biogenic heritage, it tells you from, what period of time they came from. So how about that? That's pretty cool. They sent it to me. So we must be making some headway. I do want to thank the folks in the Reddit Geology group and Rockhounds group who have been so kind as to tolerate our posts on sand and make very nice comments and ask questions. And eventually some of them we've noticed to become subscribers. So to that Reddit Geology and Reddit Rockhounds group, thank you very much for helping us and contributing to the project just by being there. Okay, so let's go to, let's start with the imagery, and I am going to go to, let me see, live dashboard. Did I get why are those different from one another? Oh, because that's AGKs. Okay, so let me go to window shot right here. Hey, Brian's in the room. Brian Gates, the gentleman that just said hello, everyone, is the gentleman that provided this sample. He also provided one for, it's not Pompano Beach, it's another beach in Florida that we're going to be showing on Friday. There's no giveaways with that one, but he sent 2 samples, so I want to make sure that we do. And for those of you that have sent in samples, I don't want you to be distressed. We've got them in the queue, and I think I have 6 in the queue right now, including a sample that was given to me at the World Series of Fen this last weekend by one of our viewers and one of the Fen searchers. And my daughter sent me a couple of samples from her trip in Spain, France, and Marrakesh. And then, and there are several more besides that. My next door neighbor gave me a sample from the northern beaches of Scotland. So we've got that. And then I was informed by the UPS store that another sample arrived today. So we got enough samples to keep us going for several weeks here before I have to bug eBay about it again. Remember, again, today, that we are going to give away the sample from Alder Gulch last week's. That's the pendant. And to qualify for that, you have to go to last Wednesday's show and make a comment, okay? So if you want to win that. And we'll leave it up. I do have a pendant for today, but I also have a photograph. I will advise you in advance that the photograph that I selected, I ran out of frames. And but I ordered them from Amazon. They'll be here on Friday. So you will get the pic. If you choose the picture, you will get it in a frame. And I don't usually ship them out till the weekend anyway. I just wanted you to know that I can't show it to you in a frame tonight or today rather because I just ran out of it. So. Okay, so I need to move a couple of things around here because that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Hang on just a sec. Give me 1 second just to make a quick move here before I show you this because it isn't going to make any sense. There. Okay, that's good. All right, done that. Let's switch screens to a window shot. And the area that we're going to today is at Cozumel. And you can see, let me go back so you can show the entire title. It's the Zona Hotelera, the Hotel Zone North. And San Miguel de Cozumel is the city in which it's in. Quintana Roo is the state in Mexico in which it's in. And for those of you that are Fen searchers and watching this, you should recognize Quintana Roo as the area in which Fen's brother Skippy drowned while scuba diving. That was the same area. So the area, let's get back here. The area as we travel from New Mexico south to the Yucatan Peninsula. What's curious about Cozumel is it's on the outside of the Yucatan. This is, of course, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Gulf Stream passes through this area here. Cozumel is on the east side of the Yucatan Peninsula, so it's actually in the Caribbean rather than in the Gulf. And it looks like this. That's Cozumel. The area that we're looking at is actually on the western shore of the island. It's a great diver's paradise. That is referred to as the Cozumel Channel. And the city across from Cozumel is the Playa del Carmen. And the state of Quintana Roo actually includes Cancun and this area down to Tulum. But one of the things that I wanted to point out to you is this area right here. It's referred to as Chicxulub, and that should have a C in it. I'm sorry, I misspelled that. Chicxulub. And here's what's interesting about this area. 65 million years ago, you'll see right here part of it. Part of it was in the ocean, but you'll see this ridge line right here. And that was made by a massive 150 mile across. They're still not sure whether it was a comet or an asteroid. Some people believe it was a comet. Some people believed it was an asteroid. But it was that event, and it's referred to as an extinction event. It was the 5th extinction event. That 65 million years ago, when it struck the planet, over the next several thousand years, it left the planet desolated. It killed 90% of all life and ended the 235. So dinosaurs had been around for, I can't do this in my head, 235, about 150 million, 160 million years. They had developed over 160 million years prior to the last extinction, the fourth extinction event, which was caused by massive volcanic eruptions all over the world that created a cloud, et cetera, et cetera. What was interesting is that was also the end to reptiles and dinosaur-like animals. So what's interesting is nature, it has a tendency to head towards the reptilian or the dinosaur when it has time to create animals. So there's a very good chance that if the planet were to last another 65 million years, not only would we be gone, but it would be dominated by reptiles or dinosaurs again, because that's nature's tendency. But this established what is now referred to as the KT boundary, the boundary between the Cretaceous, the end of the Cretaceous, and the beginning of the Tertiary, which is the point at which mammals started developing, because amongst that 10% that survived the event, it was mostly mammals, underground mammals like moles and things like that eventually became humans. Now, here's another interesting thing. Dinosaurs were around for 160 million years. The animals, the creatures, the reptiles that preceded them were around for around 200 million years. We've been around for 150,000 years. So we're 3 orders of magnitudes less time on this planet than the dinosaurs were. And it was the result of that extinction event. Scientists are currently predicting the 6th extinction event. And the 6th extinction event, they believe, will not come as a result of an asteroid or the Earth blowing apart or volcanoes erupting. It will come as a result of the amount of damage we're doing to the planet, because we're already experiencing high levels of extinction amongst our plants and our flora and our fauna. But, so here's Cozumel right there. And there's the Chicxulub creator, the one that destroyed the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. That's a long time, isn't it? So as you can see, Cozumel is just an uplift, and it is not volcanic. It is mostly limestone. This whole area is much like southern Florida. It's limestone, and there's no volcanoes. And as a matter of fact, you'll see that in the sample. The highest place on the island is 48 feet above sea level. So it's in a precarious position should sea levels ever rise by any significance. So if you want to enjoy the benefits of going to Cozumel, this would be a really good time to do it. So as we get close, we're on the western shore of Cozumel. Again, this is that area in the state of Quintana, in the city of San Miguel, and along the Zona Hotelera in Norte. So they've broken it down so that these various zones, these areas, have police protection. But it's a very popular place for Americans and actually all countries visit there. Have you been to Cozumel? Long time ago?
I think we stopped there on a cruise, but I don't think we got off.
Okay. And that's how a lot of it happens. There's a very good port there. So these are the photographs. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call Brian right now so he can tell us about these pictures, and then we'll get back to the sample. So I need my notes here.
While you're waiting, just
okay,
listen
go ahead.
to the waves.
And relax. Relax. So, Brian, we're calling you now. Notice I'm doing this without reciting of it.
Did you forget to pay your bill again?
No, it's telling me that it's now. I turned on that iPod Touch, and now everything's moving over there, and it has to tell me that everything is moving, which I think is crazy because I'm going to put it on eBay.
Just relax.
So let's talk to Brian. He can tell us about these pictures.
Hello, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian. It's Toby and Shelley. How are you doing?
Well, hello, Toby. Hello, Shelley.
Hello.
So listen, we just got to the point where we were showing the pictures that you sent us of that area, and we thought you'd
Okay.
fill us in a little bit. When did you actually collect this sample?
This would have been between Christmas and New Year's 2011, 2012.
And what made you keep it that long? Like, is there a point you go like, oh, it's time to get rid of this?
We keep jars of sand wherever we go.
Oh, really?
We've been
Oh,
to. Yes.
so do you consider yourself a sand collector?
Not really a sand collector. We're usually looking for the shells, different shells,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
different rocks, and then we always get a little bit of sand to put in the bag along with it.
So you did send me a sample. I broke it down into three different things. One is the fine sand, one is coarse sand, and then there's objects that didn't make it through the sand classification. But I'm gonna let me flip back so you can see it. You also sent me this, and I'm not sure. It feels like coral or something. It's definitely not a rock. You'll see it in just a
Right.
minute. Can you tell me? I don't know what it is, so I was going to ask you if you knew what it
Well,
was.
I'm not sure either myself.
All right. Well, we are going to put it under the microscope. Take a look. Maybe one of our viewers can tell
I
us.
thought it was interesting. I had a couple of them. Thought I would send them along.
Yeah. No. That was great. I'm going to add it. It's as you know, it's technically not in the area of sand, but I think it's interesting enough to keep around just because it has a bunch of sand stuck in all the little holes and things. So.
Right.
So
I was thinking about a necklace, I think.
Yeah, and actually, that it would make a great necklace. That looks good. So, how long were you there? Have you been back since? How long were you there, and have you been back since?
We actually went to Cozumel for our honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been back in '92, and we went back for this cruise. So it had been that long.
All right. And the photographs were taken at the same time, so you haven't been back since 2011.
Right. Have not been back since.
All right.
Right.
So I'm going to go through the photos. It looks like a beautiful area, beautiful clear waters. Did you get a chance to do any scuba diving?
I didn't do scuba diving this trip. I did the first trip we went in '92,
All right. Okay.
and it looked completely different after being there.
You know, that's been
It
my
really changed
experience.
a lot.
Yeah, it develops. They develop and it changes, you know.
Yes, we didn't even recognize it.
When you went back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes from being kind of a backwater to like, oh, it's developed now. There's lots of people from all over here. That's kind of what happened to my Costa Rican dream is the longer I
Right.
waited, the more refined and populated it got, you know.
That's my son there in the middle there.
Let me see. Let me go back here. Let's see. In the middle of the water, right. I have to go back because you're a few seconds behind us. So
Gotcha.
so he looks like he's about 11 or 12 there.
Yes.
So he's got to be what? Let's see. 8
He's
years.
21 now.
Yeah, I was going to say he's a full-grown adult now. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's good to see these pictures, and I really appreciate you not only taking the time to send the sand, sharing some of that with us. You know, you sent a great sample that we were able to sieve through 3 different sections, including one that isn't a sample, and that one object that you sent made it even better. So I wanted to give you the choice. Let me show you the picture. I ran out of frames last night as I was putting together the frames for each of the shows that we do. But I wanted to, let me go back this way so I can pull up, so you can see this is the photo that I selected to put to frame. And the reason I liked it is because right in the middle there is a foraminifera, which at one time was a, human, not a human, but a sea creature. And that's sand grain size, and the sea creature lived in that. There seemed to be a lot of the forams, a lot of the, forams that no longer hold life. But there was also one of the things that we noticed. There was a lot of, we call it fish poop, but it's really coral that parrotfish have consumed for the food, and then pooped out the stuff that they don't need. So that's the picture. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so
It looks nice.
I always offer the person that sent us the sand either the choice of either the picture or the sand pendant. And I'll go back to the full frame here so you can see that and give you time to... So that's the pendant, and it was made from that sand. It has a very nice emerald crystal in there. No, it's more like a topaz, like a turquoise crystal in it. And that's made from the sand that you sent us. So you have a choice, either the picture or the pendant, and we'll give the other one away next week. Your choice.
Okay. The pendant would be fine.
Okay.
My wife would enjoy that.
I'm going to mark that down
So
right.
I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Is there a way to get a copy of the picture?
Here's I always commit.
Alicia could put it on a product.
Yeah. I always commit that the picture that I send to the person is one of one. It's one print made by me with my signature on it.
I understand.
But I've always told people that if they want to download the pictures, the photographs from the website, from the photos, from the, in this case, the WSP 0026 photos, they're welcome to do that if they wanted to make a picture for themselves. But the one that I sent is my original one of one, and nobody else will have a copy of that with my signature on. That's why.
Well, that's good.
That's why you're the first person that selected the pendant. So far, everybody else has picked a picture. So I will send that pendant out to you this weekend, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And thanks for joining us on the call. We're going to get through the rest of our observation today because I do want to get it under the microscope after I show the pictures. So thanks for taking the call, and thanks for sending the sample.
There was one thing about one of those pictures, the rocky area that was in there.
Yeah.
There was actually a gold coin along that rocky area.
Oh.
And I tried for like 30 minutes trying to get that out of this little spot, but the water would come up and go back down.
Oh, my goodness.
And the sun would hit it just right when the water went down.
Yeah.
And it was in a little hole back in there. And after about 45 minutes, I finally got that gold coin out there, and it was just a token.
Oh, shucks. Well, better a token than a chocolate candy, foil-covered chocolate candy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, guys.
Brian, thank you for sending a sample. Thank your wife for us. And that pendant will go out this weekend. I do have your shipping address, so you don't have to send anything.
Okay.
All right?
You have a good week.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
So let's go on to the sample and see what we've got. This is what the sample looks like. And I put it through 3 levels of sieve. This is the fine. Let me see if I had these marked. So the sample is medium sand, and it's what is referred to as well-rounded. That's this one right here. This one is coarse sand, also well-rounded, and that means it's been tumbled a little bit, so there's no sharp edges. This is not sand. This didn't make it through the 2mm sieve, but I did take pictures of it because it had some interesting objects. And then this is the stone that the stone or whatever that Brian sent us. So if you know what that is, I'm going to imagine it's coral, but I just don't know. I don't know enough about it. I don't remember seeing something like that when I dive for coral. This is the one we're going to take a look under the polarizing microscope. The simple fact of the matter is there is nothing in this. There are no rocks, no quartz, no granite. There was a little bit of basalt in it, but there was literally nothing that's going to be reflective. It's all biogenetics. So that's a little bit closer picture of the object. You see the size in comparison that Brian sent us. If you know what it is, I'd appreciate it. Like I said, my guess is it's a piece of coral that washed up on shore, just by the way it's structured. So close-up of the sample, very white, the result of all the biogenetics. There was some magnetite in it. You can see even in this small rock right here, there was pieces of magnetite. Now, whatever there is in basalt or magnetite came from off the coast because it comes from the seafloor, which is primary basalt, but you don't see a lot of it here. So as you can see, the sample, that's the wide angle view, lots of white stuff, very few in the way of rocks, the occasional piece, black basalt or magnetite here. But again, that's all biogenetics. Those are either pieces of shell or pieces of coral or forams. Those are basically the three choices. We're going to take a closer look. So some close-up shots. The shiny stuff usually is shell material. The dull stuff is usually biogenics and forams. Now they have the same bases. They're both from calcium and carbon, but they have different workups, and these polish better. Now I just found under the microscope a very polished foraminifera. And I'll show that to you if I can find it again, because sometimes once you see these things, they're just so difficult to find. I do have that in the microscope. This looks like the color makes me believe that it's more likely that it's coral than it is anything else. And I think that's where the colors come from, the coral rather than this. What I couldn't figure out is that they're all covered in these tiny little black specks. And I don't know what that came from. I should have asked Brian if he was aware. The last time we saw that kind of little black speckling on our sample was when we took a look at that reserve in New Jersey, the Pine Barrens Reserve. And it was covered in the little black spots, and that was because the area constantly suffers from fires. And is it Brian? No. Somebody's calling me on the other phone.
That's your cell phone.
Yeah. So they showed the black spots because the Pine Barrens constantly experience fires, and they allow them to happen because that's part of the regeneration process of the Pine Barrens. So if anyone knows what these small black little objects represent, they're covering almost everything in here. Another close-up shot, we'll see some biogenics, the shell material and the foraminifera. And like I said, the big difference between the two of them is that the shell material tends to be polished and shiny. The foram doesn't. It's got that more dull look, and it's always got holes in it. So what's interesting is there's no rocks, there's no quartz. We've seen samples from beaches in California, samples from beaches on the East Coast, and samples from the interior, and they will either have rocks and or quartz. And of course, we don't see any shell material. The beaches show a combination of the three, and generally speaking, they're pretty well balanced. But this one is there's very few rocks. Occasionally you see rock, but it's mostly biogenic shell material and forams. Now, this is a shot of that larger thing that didn't pass through the larger stuff that didn't pass through the 2mm sieve. And you can see here that first piece of basalt right there. That is a rock. That's not shell material. That's a rock. And it's just slightly larger than the sand. It's a little bit closer object. So it did have
Brian
some
says
material.
He doesn't know what the black spots are.
Yeah. So it was some good-looking material. Let's take a quick look under let's go to the microscope window. And that's full frame. And what I want you to look at, there's two things that I want you to look. The other one's out of the frame. But that's that foram right there that we're going to zoom in on for now. And then there's one up towards the northeast up here that's got color to it, which really excited me. I know that's crazy and excited. Oh, it's no problem. He's a nut. So that's the far out zoom. Let me give it a little bit of focus here. So let's see if we can zoom in on that one foram. I'm going to have to keep adjusting as I zoom in on it. What's kind of not discouraging, but what's more fun for me is this is actually a stereo microscope. And so when I look at it as I'm searching for things, I have such a much better view that I wish I could share it with you guys. It just doesn't come over with this camera because it's basically looking. Did I lose it? I lost it. Let me zoom back out again. Sorry. Let's see if we can find him.
What are you looking at?
I was looking for that foram right there. So it's right. It's kind of northeast of the. Yeah.
This?
No, that one right there.
This.
So let me center down and try it again here. if I do it a little bit at a time, I can get it and finally zoom in on him. And if you're not familiar with forams, the reason they play such an important role in paleo studies is they can take samples out of the seafloor, core samples out of the seafloor, and they all contain foraminifera. And what's interesting about the forams is that the way they create their shells is by using the combinations of calcium, carbon, and oxygen. And they take the oxygen, two types of oxygen, O2 and O8, out of the air, and because of that, they store it in their shells. And so they're like a living history of the state of the planet. And that's why there's such great interest in forams and the study of forams. And just seeing one just makes me happy. Okay. So there are, I would say, short of that one of those California samples that we have, there are more forams in this sample than any but that one California sample where we saw them. And those little holes are where the arms of the foraminifera come out, and that's how they collect their food. Now, you've got to remember this creature is smaller than a grain of sand because that object that he lives in is smaller than a grain of sand. When he dies, it sinks to the bottom of the seafloor, and then it's continually covered. And scientists have dug cores back of the seafloor 200 million years ago, and they can get information. That's why we have such an accurate picture of the weather that was taking place 200 million years ago. But at the KT event, the event that I just described, the number of forams fell by 90%, and the ones that survived were much smaller. And so the data changed for them, but that's what helped identify that KT event. So I'm going to zoom back out so I can find. I did find that was probably a mistake right there, because I've got these mapped out in my head, but that doesn't necessarily mean I've got them mapped out on the screen. So let me, we're going to move around here just a little bit to see if I can find that one that had kind of a golden color. There it is. So this is a foram that's very similar to the one that we just observed, but it's got color to it. So be patient with me as I get in closer here. But you'll see the same spiral design to it, and you'll also see the little tiny holes that are, sometimes they're plugged up because the calcium continues to collect. And while we're here, I'm actually going to take a picture of this, because if I don't, I will never find it again. There we go. Smaller than a sand grain, but the home to a living creature that whose ancestors provide us more information about the atmosphere that covered the Earth, our planet, up to 200 million years ago. And they've done a real good job. It includes temperature and the amount of oxygen in the air, the amount of carbon dioxide, and it's all based on the analysis of the shells of these tiny little creatures, forams, or the people use forams because their name, and there are scientists whose sole purpose in life is to study these wonderful little creatures. There's a wonderful, and I don't know which of the California universities it is. I think it's UC Santa Barbara, I'm going to guess, or maybe UCLA, because on Catalina Island, right off the coast in California, there's a research laboratory there. And they spend times. And if you look at the playlist that we've included on foraminifera, you'll see that short documentary about them in there. So let me take a quick image here. I know we're running out of time.
You still have to do your drawing.
Yeah. So let me just do this. SP0026-A A stands for addendum, but I do want to take that picture because, like I said, if I don't, let me, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and the reason is I'm going to change the sample to the coarse sand that we found there. And it has a little bit more character because it is coarse. That means they haven't, and it's also more angular. It's not as rounded and refined. But you don't see much difference here. You see a lot of the same objects right there. Right there is a 4am. The shiny stuff is shell material, and the rocky stuff is probably is likely coral. So, but a nice variety in here as well, and they do qualify as sand because they are smaller than the 2 millimeters. But here's what you don't see. You don't see rocks and you don't see quartz. You see the foraminifera, you see shell material, and you see broken bits of coral. So very different sample for us. And then every once in a while you see something like this, like, what? How did that get in there? A beautiful watermelon red coral. But you can't make a gem out of it because that's the size of a sand grain. You know, you can't do anything with it. You can just admire it and see how pretty it is. Okay, and then the final one is, and this one I have to zoom way out before you can get anything. And that was it was in the sample that he sent, but it just didn't make it through the 2 millimeter sieve. And you can see, again, shell material, some shell material, some, I cannot remember, coral. But these are those bigger objects. And then finally, what I'd like to do before we get on here is I want to put this, see if this may be too big for even the stereo microscope. Let me see. So this is that one object very close up. So you can see, I'm going to guess it's coral, and those are small sand grains mostly stuck in the bone structure, for lack of a better way. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to learn about coral now. So that's what it looks like close up. Now, I think what I'm going to do is there wasn't that much interesting under the polarizing microscope because there was nothing reflective. There was no quartz, there was no minerals, there was no rocks in it. So we'll let that go for today. And I think what we'll do is we'll do our drawing. You have 30 seconds to go to last Wednesday's show to have a chance at winning let me go back to full frame here. And close that, and go there, and go to our video manager. Give me a second here, because we got to close up shop here.
So this is the sand from last week's show.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little blue crystal on the tag.
So you have to go back
Gulch
to
in Montana.
Alder Gulch, Montana. So that's the show from... It doesn't have a date. February 12th. So go back there because we're going to use that one. That was the one where we had the sapphires that... who sent us that? Do you remember?
Mike Healy.
Mike Healy sent it to us, yeah. All right. So we're going to... here we go. Go make your comment. If you're going to do it right now. I'm going to copy the video link, and we're going to go to commentpicker.com.
Mark Connor says, I have to say you take awesome pics of sand. Again, remember that Redbubble has those products with different sand pictures that Toby took from a variety of different places.
Oops.
And that link is in the description box below the video.
Do that again because I thought I was sharing that with you. Okay, so this is the video from last Wednesday, Alder Gulch, and that's where the pendant is from. I'm going to click on that link right there, and we're going to go to commentpicker.com. And we're going to go to YouTube random comment picker. And we're going to scroll right down here. We're going to put the link in there and see how many comments are made as of this moment. There are 13, so you have a real good chance of winning. So let's pick the raffle winner by clicking on that button right here.
All right. Who will win? If you've already won a pendant, then
Yeah.
we'll pick again.
Tony
Did
Russi.
Tony win yet?
I don't think he has.
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Tony, you're the winner of the sand pendant for, let's go back to full frame so you can see it, for today. Send your shipping address to worldsandproject@gmail.com, and thank you for, let me see, let me write down Tony's name.
Subscribing and
For subscribing, yeah.
leaving comments.
Right. So next week, we don't have a pendant to give away for next week because Brian selected the pendant. I'll send that to him this weekend. But we will have a picture. And the picture that I've selected, just like I said, I ran out of frames. But I will have some more coming in Friday. And the picture that I selected for the frame is that one right there. And as I told Brian, the one that I print, dye sublimation, matted and framed, signed, is the only one that I'll make of this print. If you want to make one for yourself, you are welcome to download one of the images from this set. Now, later on, we'll be adding more products, which will include images and coffee cups and those kinds of things. We're leaving it up to Alicia, Shelley's daughter, to make up her mind. Oh, dang nabbit. I keep forgetting. So that's the one that I'm going to make the image of. So whoever wins next week will win a picture rather than a pendant, and we'll frame and mat that and send that to them. All right? Mark Cotter. Mark, nice to see you. All right, I think that's it for today. Let's... All right, go ahead.
Thanks for being here, everybody, and for all your great comments and questions in the chat. Thank you to Brian Gates for today's sample, and congratulations to our winner, Tony Russi. We will see you again on Friday for the next World Sand Project. And coming up at 4 o'clock on the softer side, we will have a live coaching session, and we'll be giving away a prize there as well. So make sure you make a comment on last week's video for the softer side if you would like to participate in that drawing. And join us at thesofterside.live to have a great discussion today.
Tony, that's correct. worldsandproject@gmail.com. And then tonight on A Gypsy's Kiss at 7 o'clock, we do have another giveaway. It's a photograph, and it's a unique one. If you want to see the photograph without it being matted and mounted in a frame, it's on our community page. It's a really one-of-a-kind, literally one-of-a-kind photograph, because I was the only one there to take that picture. So join us tonight at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday on the World Sand Project at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.